Sunday, we go back to the Psalms for this very short communion antiphon called Inclina, aurem, tuam. Incline your ear, O Lord. Make haste to rescue me. Now, I spoke last week about the origins of chant, or at least the origins of the written record that we have of chant. I mentioned that in the 11th century, we suddenly have many manuscripts of Gregorian chant, which we didn't before. However, when Gregorian chant was being revivified in the 19th century, because it really hadn't been sung in the church in its medieval form between the Council of Trent in the 16th century and the middle of the 19th century, the scholars who gathered the manuscripts from the 11th century couldn't read them very well. This is because they showed very little attention to the actual notes. Instead, what these early manuscripts show would be rhythmic markings. The rhythm is really important, and you were expected just to remember the tune, basically. So what happened in the 19th century was when scholars rediscovered the chant and were implementing it, they used the music that was available to them to try to understand how to sing chant. And what we got what is often known as the solemn method for singing chant, which is not actually used at solemn right now, but it makes use of very even rhythms, very even measurements of time. And so, for instance, I'm going to sing for you now the second half of this antiphon according to this solemn, even tempo style. It sounds like this. Now, there's something kind of nice about that, to be honest. But now we're going to sing the same thing according to a different style. And see if you can hear the difference. This is the second half. Okay, if you could hear it, I might not have demonstrated so well by myself so that the difference was clear. But you hear in this style that we've been singing for you over the past several weeks, we make use of a lot more nuance in the rhythms. We start and stop, we have notes that are longer, notes that are quick. We are trying to decipher, interpret the old manuscripts, and we have in some of our books indications of what those old manuscripts look like. And they were, as I mentioned, intensely interested in rhythm. One of the interesting things about this piece, and why I chose to speak about this week, is we have a series of neumes, of groups of notes over one syllable, that look exactly the same. And they go, sol, la, sol, fa. And if you sing them all evenly, it might sound okay. You'd hear it as a theme. But in fact, these neumes are notated differently each time in the older manuscripts. And perhaps I should say that by the 14th century, the written records of chant included very clear indications of pitch. Okay? So they developed over time. People started to forget how the melodies went, and so they wrote them down. So we're going to sing for you now a couple of snippets of this and show you how this one motif from this piece, the one that sounds like this, is actually done differently each time. So first here is the word tuam. Okay, now let's sing eruas notes. You're going to hear the same cell 3 times in this short span. We're going to sing it slightly different the third time, if you listen carefully. So here's ut eruas. So, there's there's a lot of nuance to this. I like this style of interpreting the old manuscripts. First of all, because I think it's closer to the original intention. It's more like speaking the text. It's a little bit less like singing a song. Part of the difficulty in the 19th century versions of these interpretations is that the text kind of ended up taking second place. You had a kind of rhythm that you had to keep up, and the rhythm, if you had to cheat on one of the words, then that's okay because it was supposed to sound pretty. And again, there's some virtue to that. I wouldn't dispute that. But to pray these every day and really to understand the sense of God's Word coming through these texts, it's helpful to have the flexibility that the older style offers us. So we're going to sing through this one more time, and we're really going to exaggerate this time, these rhythmic changes so you can hear it. And just listen to how it's possible for us really to declaim this text. Incline your ear, make haste to rescue me.